For nearly 2 years, Union University has been working on a transition to membership in the NCAA at the Division II level. NCAA Division II has adopted a model for student athletes called Life in the Balance. The central idea is for student athletes to keep athletics in proper perspective. They are students first. At Union, our athletic teams have won dozens of championships. But athletics has always been a platform from which students pursue an effective witness for Christ, community service, and education.
We recruit students first, even in athletics. And then if they're gifted and talented, then they become student athletes. Academics is taken seriously. The graduation rate of our student athletes is slightly higher than that of the general student body. We have athletes in the nursing program, athletes that are pre-med, engineering program. We have some who want to move toward being pharmacists. This life in the balance model, Union fit that model before we ever made this application. This past year, I've met individually with every head coach and most of our assistant coaches. They're not only fine people, they're wonderful moms, dads, husbands, and wives. They're believers in Christ. In one of our Gulf South Conference basketball games, one of our players, in the middle of the game, one of the other players was hurt, and one of our players stopped and said, "I'll be praying for you." It shocked that player. In this video, you're going to see the lives of two young people who've come to know Christ, their lives completely transformed.
At Union, most of the recruited athletes are believers. But a few who come here become aware that they do not have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
From the beginning, when I started talking to Coach Campbell by phone or email, he always talked about God to me, and before anything else. So, and then I got here and he invited me to his church. Actually here I got to know Christ. and that's a huge difference. At home, every summer I go, I just try to talk about Jesus. They don't really understand what being a Christian means. So I just, especially with my family, I try to talk to them.
I came to Union on baseball scholarship, and was just around people who were very strong in their faith. Danny Grimm, our shortstop, he was a senior. He took me to Honey Baked Ham one day and actually pulled out a little Bible and just kind of had me recite some verses and asked if I would accept Christ in my life. And I was ready, and it was just the perfect time. I think if you live with a Christ-like attitude, you can do anything in life.
The way we treat each other is different from what I was used to at home.
I think the coaches really have a service-minded attitude towards their jobs.
Fun to be around them, especially with Coach Campbell. As I said before, he's just a great example of being a godly man.
I think that's just so telling of the university itself, is that they hire coaches that have that service-minded attitude. They really just want your student athletes to succeed in life, outside the court or the field or wherever you're playing.
Union really is unique in this aspect of athletics being a platform for our story and our mission of being Christ-centered.
I have other purposes. I want to do mission. I want to make an impact in my hometown. In Paraguay, there are a lot of poor people, a lot of needs. So I just want to go and do whatever God leads me.
Law enforcement, government law enforcement, possibly. Another thing would be to be a teacher and a coach. I think that's always been a passion of mine. You kind of have the responsibility to be a good role model, working hard or putting God first in your life.
Most of these athletes come here not just to play the sport, but they see the sport as an avenue through which they can be a believer. And that ultimately is what this event is about and what athletics at Union is all about.